All right, so I got a Wall Street article for you. Again, I just have to ask about this debt. How is it really going to be dealt with? Like, it doesn't just disappear, right? I mean, it doesn't just go away. You don't just get to, honey, hand me the eraser. Hand me the eraser. Let me just, like, it's climbing, just like your debt. Now, you can bankrupt out of your debt, ultimately, right? But how the hell does a country bankrupt out of its debt, right? And when I say a country, I'm not talking about some third world country. I'm talking about the United States. U.S. gross national debt jumps by 1.27 trillion in fiscal year 2018. Hits 21.5 trillion. But wait, these are the boom times, he says. The U.S. gross national debt jumped by $84 billion on September 28th, the last business day of fiscal year 2018. The Treasury Department reported Monday afternoon. During the entire fiscal year 2018, the gross national debt ballooned by 1.271 trillion to a breathtaking, I almost want to sing it. What song? What am I going to sing?
I wasn't paying attention yet.
Breathtaking is the word. That's the trigger word. Nope, not every breath. Not the police.
There was another one in my head.
Dirty Dancing. Every breath I take.
That's not Dirty Dancing.
That was not on Dirty Dancing? Take my breath away. I think they were dancing slow dance. I think.
No, that's not Dirty Dancing.
All right, everybody, stand by. We're gonna do it. That's what I'll do it live. Dirty Dancing song. Take my.
No, that's like Top Gun.
Breath away.
Or something.
Dirty Dancing, Baby and Johnny, Take My Breath Away. Excuse me. If I can real quickly switch screens real fast to wreck my wife real quick. No, Dirty Dancing, Baby and Johnny, Take My Breath Away. Dancing.
Oh, that's not real.
Or did someone put that together?
Someone put that together. That's not real.
Please watch high quality.
Look at Top Gun.
Speaking of him,
Is this a video?
Yeah, bro. With hair like that, I don't think I'd be seen on TV. You know what I'm saying?
Well, be honest. She's been sick for 2 days.
She has been sick for 2 days, so I mean, stay over that way. Go that way. Yeah, right over there. That's good. That's a good spot. My little Ashley. All right, yeah, I'm in the middle. I got to get back on track because I got off track thinking I was about to wreck Mom, but I got wrecked instead.
Hey, there's a love bug.
Yeah, there's love bugs that come in here. Anyways, people, my friends, the debt is out of control. Just 6 months ago, on March 16th, it had pierced the 21 trillion mark. At the end of September 2017, it was 20.2 trillion. The flat spots in the chart below, followed by the vertical spikes, are the results of the debt ceiling grandstanding in Congress. And I do want to share that, so we are going to switch screens real quick. Because this is, just look at how it's going. This is, yep, we'll get that paid off here shortly. Could you imagine if that was your credit card statement every year, every month? You just look like that. And even when it goes flat, it's just going sideways for a little bit. It's not like it's getting paid down. It just goes sideways. And then, boop, there it goes. See ya. Unflipping believable. These trillions are whizzing by so fast, they're hard to see. He says, what was that? We asked. Where did that go? Over the fiscal year, the gross national debt increased by 6.3% and now amounts to 105.4% of current dollar GDP. But this isn't the Great Recession when tax revenues collapsed because millions of people lost their jobs and because companies lost money or went bankrupt as their sales collapsed and credit froze up. And when government expenditures soared because support payments such as unemployment, compensation, and food stamps soared, and because there was some stimulus spending too. But no, these are the good times. Over the last 12-month period, through quarter two, the economy, as measured by real GDP, grew 5.4%. It's incredible, right? It's a great number. Nominal GDP rather than inflation adjusted real GDP, because the debt isn't adjusted for inflation either. And we want an apples to apples comparison. The increases in the gross national debt have been a fiasco for many years, even after the Great Recession was declared over and done with. The gross national debt increased on average by $954 billion per fiscal year from 2011 through 2017. And the regular debt ceiling fights in Congress, rather than accomplishing something noticeable in terms of fiscal rectitude, are just political charades that leave some flat spots in the charts above, which I showed you, followed by some dizzying spikes right afterwards, of course. But now we have even more increased spending combined with tax cuts. As a result, the surge in the debt in fiscal 2018 of $1.27 trillion was 33% more than the already mind-blowing average surge in debt over the past 7 fiscal years, or $954 billion. For the first 11 months of fiscal 2018 through August, total tax receipts inched up by only $19 billion, or 1%, according to the CBO, though the economy, as measured by nominal GDP, grew at an annual rate of about 5.4%. None of the figures are adjusted for inflation. 1%, this 1%, increase in revenues was distributed as is to be expected. Individual income tax and payroll tax receipts rose by $105 billion, or approximately 4%. Corporate income tax receipts fell by $71 billion, or 30%, due to the new corporate tax law. Revenues from other sources fell by $16 billion, or 6%. This includes declines in the remittances from the Federal Reserve, which sends most of its profits to the Treasury Department, but now pays banks more on their excess reserves and thus remits less to the Treasury Department. Outlays surged by $240 billion, or by 7%, over the first 11 months of fiscal 2018 compared to the same time last year. The CBO estimates that the deficit will be $895 billion in fiscal 2018. These annual deficits, based on government accounting, are almost always substantially smaller, of course, than the increase in the gross national debt. But it's the debt that finally accounts for all the money the government spends minus the money it receives. The difference has to be borrowed, and that difference in fiscal 2018 between what it paid out and what it received in revenues was $1.27 trillion. The U.S. is on an unsustainable fiscal path. There's no hiding from it, explained Fed Chair Jerome Powell during the press conference. Read, the Fed's not backing off Powell's standouts and zingers at the press conference, which I actually, pretty sure, read you just the other day. Because I found that pretty interesting that even one of the Fed guys, Federal Reserve guys, is saying, yeah, we're on an unsustainable path. Now, you might argue since 1971, getting off the gold standard and then our debt going crazy, it happened then, and it was pretty much no turning back. No turning back the clock on that one. And for each dollar that we create in this country, in many countries, pretty much the rest of the world is just like us, we create dollars, but only after we create bonds. And then we sell the bonds, and then the money that comes in buying the bonds is essentially what the Federal Reserve will print. So the Federal Reserve, you have $10 billion in bonds, sell $10 billion, got them sold, okay, print $10 billion in cash now. Now those people who bought the bonds get interest every year, whatever it is, until the bond matures. Then they get their money back, and then all the interest they got throughout those years, they of course keep. Not that it's a lot of money, it's usually a tiny little percentage. But the point is, there's interest. Where does the interest come from? How do we pay back the interest? We only have the principal that we printed. They only printed $10 billion. They didn't print $10 billion plus the interest that would be going out. No, you don't have it. What do? Got to borrow more. So I'm going to borrow more to pay back the interest on the first borrowing. Yeah. Now I've got 2 borrowings that need interest paid on them. Yeah. How do I pay those? Well, borrow some more. See how this works? I think Donald Trump knows very darn well how this works. Of course he does. He's going to, like I said, in my opinion, he will ride that horse just like everyone else has, but with a little different, there'll be a happy ending when he's done with the horse. You will ride that horse until it dies. And then maybe a new system comes out and we jump into it. Oh, get rid of the old system, new system, crypto-based, whatever. Have a nice day. Could be. I'm just going to say it could be. But I think he's going to ride that horse till it dies, and we ain't going to be worrying about the things that we thought we'd have to worry about. Maybe. Or maybe the global economy and everything is just too big, too powerful, and even Trump can't save us. And if that's the case, I think I definitely want to be holding on to some cryptocurrency. See how that works? One way or the other, I like that idea. Take care.